What's going on, everybody? Jesus loves you. My name is Cody, and this is a Monday episode of that Christian news show thing that I do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Truth! And not only is it the Monday episode, but it is also the final episode of 2012. And that means if you've been with me since the beginning, you have spent 2 New Years with me, which is awesome. So to those of you who have been here since the beginning, I just wanted to first of all apologize for some of the terrible videos that I made in the beginning of all this. And for second, thank you. Over the past 2 years, we have accumulated 132 subscribers, and I thank all of you for your support. And so we are going to get into news today, but I did want to give you guys a question of the day right away, and that is, what is your New Year's resolution? Personally, my New Year's resolution is to get 1,000 subscribers by next year, but I know that I can only do that with you guys and by giving you guys quality videos that are actually entertaining. I mean, I do this for you guys, so your support and your prayers, they have been awesome. So, that being said, no more mushy-cushy stuff. Thank you, and we move on to the first story of the day. And because we celebrated Christmas about a week ago, of course, all those weird Christmas news stories came out. And one of those weird news stories that came out recently was about an archaeologist who says that Bethlehem near Jerusalem was not where Jesus was born, but it's another Bethlehem, Bethlehem of Galilee. Now, if you're anything like me and you're into this kind of stuff, this is really interesting, but if you're a Christian who doesn't really care too much about historical detail, then this really isn't affecting you in any way. Now, according to the archaeologist Abram Oshry, there is a church in Bethlehem of Galilee, and there's evidence that suggests that they could be the birthplace of Jesus. And the one problem that I really have with this is they don't give a lot of example of the evidence that suggests this, but you know, it's still pretty cool. Now, one thing that does make a lot of sense is that it is only 7 kilometers between Nazareth and this new Bethlehem, opposed to the 150 kilometers away from the original Bethlehem. And the reason I say that is because if you're Mary and you're 8 or 9 months pregnant, riding on a donkey 150 kilometers opposed to 7 kilometers, there's a huge difference there. So again, if you're a Christian that's not into history, then this really doesn't affect you in any way, but if you like history like me, this is kind of a cool finding. And that's something that is blowing up on Christian news websites right now, is that United States citizens can no longer adopt Russian children. Now, why I keep finding this on Christian news sites, I have no idea, but I figured if it's on Christian news sites, you guys probably want to hear about it. So I guess what happens is the United States sent out a human rights law that Russia didn't like. In fact, according to Vladimir Putin, it is poisoning relations. So because they didn't like that law, they decided to retaliate, and by retaliating, they said that we couldn't adopt Russian children anymore. Now, how that affects the United States, I really don't know, but I do know that 52 children who were going to have a home no longer do because of this. Now, the Russian president did say that he thinks that the Russian people should be able to take care of their own kids, but right now, 52 children, we're going to have families back in foster care. So prayers to those children, because they really didn't have anything to do with the United States law in the first place. It's just this weird retaliation that they're doing. And for me, the only people I see getting hurt in this are those children. Good job, Russia. And since we're talking about prayer requests, we might as well talk about Egypt, because just recently they passed a constitution that was backed by Islam. And now there is nothing really all that wrong with that, but there is prayers out to the Coptic Christians who really don't know what's going to go on with them at this point. The president's saying, hey, church, you are still part of this country, but the rest of the government is kind of pointing fingers and saying, be careful. We now have really big lines that you are not allowed to cross. So just prayers to our brothers and sisters out there who are going through a season of uncertainty right now with all this going on. And then we go to our final story of the day, which is not a happy story about Thursday night, where a woman pushed a man in front of a subway train and he died. When Erica Mendez, 31, was asked why she pushed the man in front of the train, she said she thought he was Muslim, and she's hated Muslims since September 11th. But it turns out that Sanando Sen wasn't even Muslim. He was an Indian and a Hindu. And Erica Mendez is being charged for murder as a hate crime. And with all of that, it just made me think about religion, how almost all of us, we say that we are the religion of peace and love. Yet it seems to be the same religions who are starting the same fights over and over and over. So as a Christian and as someone who claims a religion of love and peace and compassion, I just get kind of angry about this kind of stuff. And if you are a Christian, you should not be showing any kind of judgment or hate like this. As a Christian, you are to love your neighbor as yourself. So do it. If we really want people to see our religion as something of peace and love and compassion, we need to show that through our actions. So hating people because they believe something different than you, not okay. We all have opinions. We all are entitled to our opinions. Opinions are what make us human. So anyways, we go back to our question of the day, and our question of the day is, what is your New Year's resolution? Please leave a comment in the comment section below with your answer. Leave a video response if you want to. That's all that I found interesting in the news today. So in closing, let the haters hate. let the Christians pray, and to everybody like, subscribe. I'll see you later, and God bless.